We are about to start, and you're clicking. You better stop because you're making a lot of noise. Come on, Ellie, sing a song for us, kiddo.
No, 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 no.
You better sing. Oh, look out. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. There we go. Sorry about that. Why aren't you singing, kiddo?
I don't know. I don't feel like it.
You don't feel like it? Okay, well, that's fine. We'll wait till people join us. But guess what? I think people are about to join us. Look at that. Look at that. We have a few folks already, and they're joining us, and they're gonna have a good time. So you know it's a really good time.
What?
You're writing a note. She wrote the word note on the note. Look at that. No. We are set up a little bit differently. We're in the room a little differently. We're going to have a lot of fun. We were a little late. Little one was getting ready. This is, again, in your face. The way you sit, it's always like this. Hey, Ellie, how's it going? Why don't you sit up? You're such a kid. And your chair is sliding over. Let's get Eliana set up here. We are going to have a very good show today if Eliana can keep her butt still, okay?
All right, I got it.
You got it? You all set? Okay, stop. They can hear that. It's very loud.
Oh, sorry.
All right, we're going to have a very good show today because today, first of all, today's May 13th, Wednesday the 13th. Ooh.
Hump day.
Hump day. That means we made it to the middle of the week and we're on the way towards the weekend. It's always fun. Also, a big giant shout out, Big Shot VIP to Ryan and Jordan. Thank you guys. You too can be a Big Shot VIP if you go to patreon.com/Dalibor, right?
Yeah.
Today, we're going to talk about home gardening because I love to garden. We're going to have a great
If you
time.
need me, I'm gonna be in my.
No, you're going to be here too because I need my co-host to help me out. No, sit back here, Ellie. Come on, turn on. Okay, enough goofing. We're going to have a lot of fun talking about home gardening. If you can sit up straight, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to get you a book to sit on, like a what do they call a phone book? Anyways, home gardening tips. We have a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Look at that. Isn't that kind of cool? Eggshells. So I asked everybody, what are the ways that you are gardening at home? And I have the picture of the eggshells there because I'll get to that in a second. I have been gardening. You're looking at the notes. You're missing the punchline. I have been gardening for years. And I thank my wonderful parents, your Babi Elisa Duratko, because they taught me how to garden. I got the green thumb. They call it a green thumb. I got the green thumb from them. I love to garden. And we figured, let's continue gardening our whole lives. And now we live in a subdivision where they have a homeowners association, which means we can't have the big giant garden in the backyard. We call that a babcha. For us, they're ginormous. They're like the size of the house, basically. And they're huge gardens. And in modern subdivisions, you can't really have them. You guys remember babchas? Some people, most of us maybe can't have them anymore. So a lot of folks will have small little vegetable gardens, but babchas are great. I grew up with just rows and rows and rows of peppers and having a great time. Every day we go out there, we water the peppers. My parents would walk through and make sure, they're all growing correctly. And then like next to the peppers, there were tomatoes, but really it was like 85% peppers in the babcha. And then like the other 15% was also peppers somehow. I don't know how that math works, but that's basically kind of how it was. So they had tomatoes, cucumbers, other fruits and veggies and stuff. And I figured I'm going to continue myself having plans. Are you falling asleep?
Yeah, this is boring me.
Wow. Well, you're going to stay upright. Watch your head. Okay. So, Ellie, that's not very nice. Okay.
I know, but I don't like gardening.
Well, you're going to learn to like it. Parents, you guys have this all the time, right? You're going to learn to like gardening.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. So we're going to talk a little about gardening today, and we're going to have a lot of fun talking about all the different methods that you can garden at home. I'm going to tell you some stuff that you're going to be like, oh, that's actually kind of cool, Dad. So first and foremost, right? Of course, all of us right now, a lot of folks haven't bought seeds yet. Don't worry. I realize like a lot of folks are at home. We don't necessarily have time. Let me adjust the angle of this. That way people can actually see you better as you're sliding away in your seat. Fine, you can go. It's okay. I've lost her, everybody. I've lost her. I guess it's just me tonight. Yep. But I'll bring her back for her joke. Yep. All right. Anyways, seeds. And I obviously, people haven't been able to go out and buy seeds. It's been a little bit difficult. Actually, well, it hasn't. It hasn't. A lot of the stores are still we're offering the curbside pickup. You can order them on Amazon. A lot of folks do what I do, which is we have the seeds from the previous year. or years, or our family had given us seeds. And so if you get the chance with any seeds you have, make sure you're saving your seeds from your veggies, because those can go a long way into the next year after that. Anyways, so seeds. A lot of people are saying, I can't go to the store to buy seeds, but you can go to the store and buy vegetables, right? You can still get your veggies. And if you go to the store and buy veggies, a lot of the vegetables have seeds. Tomatoes, a lot of the peppers will still have seeds. A lot of the fruits will still have seeds. Fruits or fruit? Fruit. They'll still have seeds. You can still get a lot of seeds. Yes, I will plant. How do you plant a budick? Kevin Durant says. Kevin Dent. Wow, I made you like an 8 foot tall, 7 foot tall basketball player. Kevin says, how do you plant a budick? You plant it right in my stomach, because that's where they need to go. No. So the important thing about seeds is that you can get seeds from everywhere, right? Save them from the previous years if you can, but you can buy seeds from even this, right? This is a strawberry. You buy a case of strawberries, and they're seeds. They're living. I mean, these are like the easiest things to plant. They're nature's weeds. They're nature's weeds. All weeds are nature's weeds. They're nature's sweet weed, right? So anybody who knows about strawberries, and there you go. John says his son's been growing a variety of peppers. Yes, peppers are a blast. Beans as well are very easy to grow. Peppers are easy. Strawberries are very easy. Beans, tomatoes, very easy plants to grow. A lot of stuff that's also very easy. Celery. What? Celery? Onions? What are you talking about? Onions? Went into my Kevin Hart phase for a second there. No, a lot of the things that we do typically we'll have some of it. We'll chop off what we're using and then throw away what we're not using. Well, the stuff that you're not using, celery, basil, onions, all that, green onions, all that stuff can still be used. So hold on to that stuff. So if you're shopping for veggies, anything that you're not using, throw it in water, in a cup of water, and it will actually, the majority of the time, it'll actually sprout again. So it's very easy to get started with that kind of stuff. And to be honest, green onions may be my favorite thing, because when they grow, you basically just plant a green onion in a pot with a little bit of soil in there. And when they grow, they'll grow. You just kind of cut everything except for like maybe 1.5 inches, and they'll keep growing back. So every few days, every week or so, you'll have green onions again. And we had green onions going for like, I don't know, at least like a half a year, just in our kitchen. Just had the green onions, the same plant, and I think we spent maybe all of like $3 on that plant and just some green onions. It was awesome. So yeah, a lot of stuff you can plant. I mentioned tomatoes and peppers are low maintenance. Strawberries are low maintenance. Cucumbers are actually very easy to grow, at least to start, but they take a lot of sun and a lot of water. There's a lot more work. They're a little bit more high maintenance. The other stuff is low maintenance, but I've never had great success with cucumbers because they need a lot of space. Strawberries, like I said, nature's yummiest weed. Cherries, right? You go get some cherries, spit those seeds out when you're done, and you can actually grow cherry trees if you want, but it'll take a long time. But blueberries will grow. Potatoes, obviously you can go buy some potatoes, and then those will grow, right? So yeah, fresh basil, a lot of the fresh herbs, you'll throw those in, and there you go. Those are the plants. So you have your plants, let's say celery, you have a strawberry. In my case, I love tomatoes and peppers, probably my two favorite veggies. So you take the seeds. Well, where are you gonna get the soil from, right? You wanna be real specific. You got to get some great potting soil. You got to get some fertilizer. No, you don't need any of that stuff. We just moved into this house like 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, whatever it was. We still had dirt outside, like clay. I went outside, I grabbed a little bit of clay and just put it in a cup. And I used one of these cups. Look, my little plants are growing in there too. I just use these little shot glass plastic cups, put a little bit of clay in there. You don't need a lot because plants are hardy. So a little bit of clay and easily some stuff. I'll get into how you can actually make sure they're great. But those types of shot cups work. Stuff like this works great as well. This is a frozen cup from one of my daughter's birthdays, but instead of throwing them out, we've turned them into little pots. Other things that work surprisingly, I showed the picture, eggshells. Here, I'll show it again. Ready? Eggshells. Eggshells work. A lot of folks will chop the egg when they're making some breakfast, and you could put dirt in there, and there you go. That's a little tiny. It even comes with the plastic case too. Other things you can even use are Keurig K-cups. We all drink K-cups, and it's not the best coffee, but it's the easiest. Yeah, just rip that open when you're done. Save the coffee grounds. I'll get to that in a little bit here. But those K-cups make great little starter cups, and they're not much smaller than this. Great for like starting off planting. You've seen those little like starter packs that they have, right? You buy it from like Meijer, Kroger, and they line everything up. You put the pellet of dirt in there. You put some water, moisture, and a seed, and it's magic, right? No, just use what you have at home. Other things you can also use, and I'm kind of reading from my list here. Other things you can use is if you're going to use any pot at home, one smart thing to do is take a coffee filter or newspaper, a few layers of newspaper, even some layers of like toilet paper or paper towel, put it in the bottom because what that'll do is, especially if you're going to put your pots outside as well, fill it up with water, you have dirt in there. It'll prevent the moisture from like disappearing and escaping out of, like a lot of the pots will have holes or even if you have cracks in them. Putting a coffee filter, surprisingly, will prevent the dirt at least from escaping out of there and some of the moisture. So coffee filters work, they're magic. Coffee is kind of a magic thing to use for planting food. I mentioned the K-cups, now I'm mentioning coffee filters. But yeah, so soil. Get it from outside. Go in your backyard, dig a hole around your grass, and around the side of your house, lift up your sod, grab some dirt from there. Anything really works, and it's really how you treat the soil. All right, so let's say you started with some seeds from a tomato plant that you have, or a strawberry or whatever. You have your cups that you're going to use. You've grabbed clay or whatever soil is outside that you have, right? One thing that I definitely use, you can even use sand, by the way. So if you have like sand pits for kids, surprisingly, those can work. It's all about what you mix in. Coffee grounds. Remember I mentioned the coffee grounds a second ago? I sprinkled, I'm going to show you this guy again. At the inside there, you see the clay? I've got coffee grounds in there as well, because coffee grounds will add a little bit of acidity to that soil, which helps the plants. It'll give them color. It'll give them some nutrients. Coffee grounds are great. Other things you can use for fertilizer, I'll get to that in a second, but coffee grounds, mix that stuff in. I mean, we all have the K-cups. Rip the top of a K-cup open and sprinkle some of the coffee grounds or your fresh coffee grounds a little bit around your plants. It doesn't take a lot, just a little bit, like a few little dabs of coffee, but they'll go a long way in helping your little plants. I planted these little seeds, and I'll show you where they've gotten to so far. These are tomato plants from I think they're from Macedonia that we got sent over, and they're growing like crazy. Well, starting. So there you got the soil, you got the acidity, other stuff you can add in. And this is actually really good. I learned this trick for like tomatoes or anything you want to have like a sweeter plant, sweet peppers, right? Banana pepper, some banana pepper, sweet red peppers, baking soda. Put a little bit of baking soda in the soil, and trust me, they will be so much sweeter because of how it's drawing the different nutrients in. I was amazed. A little bit of baking soda with tomato plants makes them that much sweeter. So there's something for you there. And obviously, plant your seeds like maybe a 1/2 inch down, maybe 3/4 of an inch at most. So there, you got your seed. Silvana, I love just the home DIY gardens. Our gardening is so easy. And again, a lot of us are going to be working from home for a long time, right? And this is kind of people talk, what's the new normal? Part of the new normal is being self-sustainable, right? So grow your own vegetable gardens. Even if you don't have a big giant garden in the backyard, you can still grow stuff inside your house, on your porches, on your patios, and they actually can kind of make great, beautiful kind of decorations outside. Anyway, so got your plants, you put the seeds in there about a 1/2 inch down. What's next? Well, you could either fill it with water and that's it and wait, put it in your window, but no. What I did, all right, you ready? I'm shaking my finger because this is smart. I had a bunch of these lined up, put some water in there. By the way, the interesting thing about using clay, the water doesn't seep in all the way. It doesn't evaporate as quickly either, surprisingly. So the water will stay in there, but the water will sit on top of the clay for a while. And it's almost like it will let itself slowly seep into the clay. It's kind of interesting. I'm telling you, you can grow everything, Sylvana. Even in Toronto, you can grow everything. I mentioned tomatoes. Tomatoes are maybe the easiest thing to grow. Beans, also, I used to grow bean plants. I just buy the white beans from the store, the bag of them, throw a few in a pot, and you got plenty of beans there. Okay, here's what I did. I built a greenhouse. And building a greenhouse was so freaking easy. Took a bunch of these little dudes right here, and I placed them on a plate or a cookie sheet somewhere on the ground. And I took, and this is awesome. It's such an awesome hack. You know those plastic moving bins you have, the semi-translucent moving bins? That's it. Flip it over, put it on top, and that's your greenhouse. That's all you need. And you'll make sure you got a little bit of water in these suckers. Put the plastic bin on top of it, and it's so easy. Don't worry about like letting a lot of air in or lifting certain things up. You don't have to worry about that much. If you really want to go crazy, and I'm not even kidding, put like a few quarters or some pennies or something around the edge of it so that it sits down, gets a tiny little bit of airflow, but you don't even need that much. You'll see those greenhouses, just with the water that you've put in these things, they'll steam up. Especially on a day like today, which in the US is like 50 degrees. It's fantastic. I was staring at my plants, and like the greenhouse was steamy, and I hadn't put water in there in a few days. So it will actually help keep the moisture in the plants. Otherwise, they'll evaporate, right? You don't want the moisture, the water you just put in evaporating. Use that greenhouse, a homemade greenhouse, indoors. And I'm telling you, that is the simplest way to start getting plants put together. And I got some more stuff I'll talk about. These things are very easy to grow. So tomatoes, I mentioned tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, strawberries. You can have real nice strawberries. Make great treats, by the way, and they are weeds in like the craziest sense. We bought 2 strawberry plants years ago at the old house, and I planted them on the side of the house, thinking, okay, I grew up when I was a little kid. I always thought strawberries were like real simple strawberry plants, like a little bush, but man, they become weeds so freaking, yeah, there you go. You want to provide these to the tree. They become weeds so quickly, and it's insane watching a strawberry plant grow, because the little tendril will kind of go off the side and boop, plant itself, and then there's another strawberry plant like 2 or 3 days later. And then that sucker will put another little arm out there. The side of our house, and I kid you not, the side of our house was within like a month and a half covered with strawberry plants from 2 strawberry plants that we bought from just a local farm over here, 2 freaking strawberry plants. And there you go. Strawberries with coconut whipped cream. That's not a bad idea, actually, which might be very easy to this. Strawberries are so easy to grow, especially outdoors, and they'll last you the entire summer. And you'll think at the end, they're all gone. You've cleaned them all up. They come back the next year because they're very hardy plants. In fact, like I said, it got so bad for us that rabbits were coming by, mice. We had mice at the old house, just outdoors. Don't worry, outdoors. Rabbits, cats, birds would come by, and they would just eat all the strawberries. So we'd have all these strawberries. They'd be eaten within a day. And then like 2 days later, we had a bunch more strawberries, popping up all over the place. So you'll never get rid of them. It takes a lot to get rid of strawberry plants, but you want to keep them in a container or something that can grow them. Here's where the hacks start to kind of come from. Okay. For strawberries and cucumbers, anything that might have vines, what I recommend is taking, those milk crates, those plastic milk crates with holes and kind of the lattice, anything with the lattice, really. Put whether it's line it with newspaper or line it with a paper bag. You can kind of set up that way, something a little bit porous, fill that with the soil, throw the plant in there, and then those tendrils, those vines will make their way through that lattice, and they'll grow, and they'll actually grow really hardy around that lattice. So easy. Strawberries need a lot of sun. No, strawberries can go anywhere. They'll find the sun if they need sun. I've personally found they don't need a lot of sun. You'll just get different effects on you'll get different effects on the type of strawberry. If it's more in the sun, it may come out a little bit of a different flavor, but really strawberries will they're pretty hardy. You do want sun, but again, they're pretty hardy, so I wouldn't worry about it. You can grow them indoors, actually. So when I asked how plant the whole strawberry, yeah, plant that whole strawberry. The exterior of a strawberry is seeds, so that tells you how much of a jerk fruit they are, that they're like, you know, I'm gonna put the seeds on the exterior because I want you guys to eat us and spread us. That's how they're like the a-hole of the fruit kingdom, let's just say. Very ballsy by strawberries, but yeah, you could plant the whole strawberry in there, and trust me, they'll grow. So yeah, plant them in those milk crates, or if you can find something with plastic, poke a bunch of holes in it, make sure it's very lightweight, fill that with the paper bag or dirt, and you'll get a very easy to maintain strawberry kind of structure. And there you go, super easy. Yeah, exactly. Trust me, they're so easy to grow. So you got your strawberries. Definitely don't forget to put, if you're doing stuff indoors like I was, my first mistake was not to put like a paper plate or a plastic plate or a cookie sheet underneath. And the more water you pour in it, sometimes these guys can get porous and the water will seep out. And I had a little bit of an icky mess, and it gets kind of stinky a lot of times if you have soil. I'll say this though. If you're using soil from outdoors, know that you might have some bugs. All right. So without knowing it, there might be some bugs in there. And in order to get rid of the bugs, definitely have some like homemade bugs, bug spray around. If you don't have bug spray, of course, I'm telling you to do all this stuff at home. Be self-sufficient. Don't need to go to the store with any of this stuff. Very simple way. You got vinegar, right? Take vinegar, pour vinegar in a bowl, and put it near your plants. In fact, if you even want to, if you're starting to see bugs, I learned this kind of trap that I made. Vinegar in a little bowl, and I actually had some apple cider vinegar that worked too, but some vinegar, you can put like a piece of fruit in there or something at the bottom for like some sweetness, or sugar in there. But wrap the edges with tape, like maybe double-sided tape if you have it, or fold it back on itself. Tape all the way around, and we had so many fruit flies from within the house attracted to the vinegar bowl, and we were peeling off layer and layer of tape of just dead little bugs that would land on there and get caught. So it's kind of crazy, but very easy way to make like this safe home security system for bugs. But anyway, so yeah, you got that all maintained. Your plants are growing. Then after a while, you'll know they're getting big enough. You can start transplanting them in their bigger cups. This is my tomato plant. This was probably, I think I planted this one maybe about a week ago, and look how big they are. And then this was, I transplanted everything last Thursday or Friday, and this is where we're at already. And these are now hard. You can see that kind of second layer of leaves. They're now very hardy and they're growing, and that's it. I've got, I think, about 25 of these little plants now. I tend to overplant, like I'll put 2 or 3 seeds into a thing like this, and we'll get a few of them together like that, and it takes a little bit of time to separate. Even after separating them, they're strong enough where they're all surviving in this. Elizabeth had a great point. Put a drop of dish soap in the water. Yes, dish soap in that in the water, and then you can spray your indoor plants or water the plants with it. That will get rid of bugs. That is very true. It's a very easy hack. Thank you, Selena. That's a very great job, Elizabeth. Anyway, so got the soil, you got your awesome little makeshift greenhouse, and now you watch the plants grow. And the kids are gonna love watching the plants grow, and they grow quick in these little greenhouses. If you for some reason, if you can't get the greenhouses near like a window or a little makeshift greenhouse, if you can make a greenhouse, great. Another thing you can also do is to put, and we've done this before too, take the saran wrap, put some sticks around, like whether it's sticks or like a cardboard box. If you have a cardboard box, great. Put some stands or something around there. You can wrap it with saran wrap and kind of make a makeshift greenhouse. There are a lot of little hacks you can do. Obviously, hop online, take a look for that kind of stuff. I don't need to teach you everything right now, but the plastic bin for me was the easiest way. Desk lamps. Desk lamps work awesome for keeping plants healthy. Just set it on a timer. Or just remind yourself. I mean, we're all home right now, so you have the opportunity to know I'm going to turn it on and off after 4 hours at a time or whatever. Every plant is different, but you can do about 3-4 hours at a time and turn it on and off, and that should typically work. Keep it well lit. I have mine by the windows. So watering, of course, early on, you want to keep the water. You want to keep your plants the water moist. Sometimes you might want to do it every couple of days, depending on how much is saving, if you're using a greenhouse or not. If you're not using a greenhouse, you want to water it more often. If you are doing the makeshift greenhouse, you can water it a little bit less because the water won't evaporate. Again, here's an idea, though. I learned these hacks. In bigger pots, take a plastic bottle or a wine bottle even, fill that with water, turn it upside down, poop, and drop it in the, buried it in the soil. And the water will stay in there. It'll keep it moist. It's actually really nice if you're going on vacation somewhere and you have your pots in the backyard or even inside the house. Fill this sucker with water. Hopefully it's not the wine because the plants will get drunk. But fill it with water, tip it upside down, and it'll actually self-sustain the plants over time. Another thing you can also do is take a plastic bottle. I mentioned plastic bottle. Poke a bunch of holes in a plastic bottle. Very easy, like a Coke bottle or something. And a soda bottle, pop bottle. Poke a bunch of holes in it. Take a sock. And this is crazy. Take a sock. You guys, the socks have come a long way. Take a sock, fill it in there, and you'll be able to, as you fill up with water, the sock will actually maintain the moisture so that it will slowly seep out of the holes in the plastic bottle instead of all at once. So it's another whole little hack of how to keep water in a bottle. So JPS, do you get some mold on top of the soil? Yes, I get mold. In fact, this guy doesn't, but a couple of my other plants do have mold. That's totally fine. Don't worry. You can even just kind of clean the mold off. Don't be afraid if your plants get a little bit of mold on there. That's just because you may just be adding too much water in there. But yeah, clean it off. Even sometimes weirdly mix it in. You can mix it back into the soil if you want. But that's some of the effects of having a greenhouse, especially, or overwatering. So it's almost like a weird way to say, I'm going to back off on watering a little bit because there's a little bit of mold on there. Totally fine. Don't worry about it. So yeah, the sock is a great way to keep the bottle, keep bottles with a hole in it, keep things and bury that bottle too. So you put a sock in a bottle with holes in it, fill it with water, bury that bottle, and you got a kind of a home watering system. Funny enough about socks, and maybe you guys had this too. Christina was telling me this a second ago that she did it as well. My parents, God bless them, they would take the hose from the backyard in their Babcha, their big garden. That's how we say Babcha Garden. As we say garden, Babcha. The big long hose, and you had the lines of like peppers and tomato plants and stuff. They would tie a sock at the end of it. So it'd be like dad's sock, ditto sock, grandpa's sock at the end, rubber band or something tied to it to hold it on. So you have a sock at the end of the hose. Then you start that hose up, full blast. And what the sock is actually doing is it fills up, and it looks really weird, obviously, but it helps diffuse the strength of the water. You want it pouring. You want a good amount of water coming out, but you don't want it to just go crazy and be like a gushing torrent of water out there. The sock will actually help slow it down and maintain it. It's just such a funny thing to see using a sock at the end of a watering hose. But we all did it. We all still do it. Okay. You have your plants, they're growing. You want to fertilize them every once in a while. I mentioned the baking soda. One thing you can also do is make fertilizer at home with DIY, like scraps, right? Bananas, eggshells, food, like usually try to go for like the fresher stuff, grind some of this stuff up. And then you don't need a lot. You can just take some of these extra foods, chop them up. Even citrus rinds work really well. Oranges, lemons, chop that stuff up and just bury it into the little pots. That works so well. It's a great way to have this natural fertilizer. In fact, one thing that I saw somebody do in the past was to take the limes and lemons. After they're done squeezing them, they core them out, fill it with dirt, and then they put they plant it in there. Not only is it like this weird self-fertilizing thing, but it decomposes along the way. So it's like this whole self-sustaining little environment. It's crazy. So yeah, make your own fertilizer. Very easy to do. You're done eating a strawberry. If you're not going to eat the whole part of the strawberry, take the rest of it, mash it up, and you got a little bit of fertilizer there. So Epsom salt works as well. So Epsom salt is also a really kind of natural hack to use for some fertilizer and just for keeping plants healthy. Get some of the nutrients in there. Last couple things here. When you have your garden or your pots, everything set up, if you want to build your own garden out of I know a lot of us live in areas, yeah, exactly. It's so easy. A lot of us live in areas where we can't necessarily build up a big garden, but you still want to have something outside. Sorry, my nose is itchy. It's this beard. I keep bringing it up. My beard, like the little follicles are tagging my nose right now. An awesome hack that you can do is if you have a little bit of land next to your house, let's say, and you want to build a garden, but you're going to get a lot of weeds, you're going to get a lot of stuff. You don't necessarily have the money or the capability or in an HOA, like a homeowner, the homeowner association, to do anything big. What you can do is find a spot on your house that you want to have. You want to have your garden. Dig up as much of like the grass or whatever that you can, but lay down cardboard. This is a very easy hack to do. Lay down cardboard, and it's awesome for starting a garden outside. So you got the cardboard laid down. You can even do it on lawn. Compost. Take lawn clippings. Take some of these compost, like a lot of the veggies that you have, stuff that you've eaten, dirt, things that lay it on top. Mulch, if you have mulch at home, lay it on top of this. Get like maybe 4 inches worth filled up, kind of fill it up in there if you can. And a lot of stuff can work in this. Seeds, or not sorry, seeds, leaves, stuff you find outside, just kind of fill it up. The cardboard keeps weeds out. And it's so easy to make this hack. The cardboard will keep weeds out. You'll put a layer of compost on there, layer of dirt on there, and you have your garden, and you won't get weeds in there for years. And it's so freaking easy. And it was one of those things that when I found it online like 2-3 years ago, I thought, wow, let me give it a shot. I did it, and I had a section of my house that never had weeds. It was just so cool. So yeah, there's a way to make a home little garden, like a location, if you want to kind of make your own garden bed. So that's it. Another quick little hack that I learned: when these things get big enough, when you're starting to get like tomatoes, you're starting to get some fruits, peppers, that kind of stuff, our inclination is just kind of spray with like pesticides or soap. You can use soap. A lot of people use soap and water and spray their plants. Another thing you can do real easily is to take Ziploc bags. If you have, like, let's say apples, or you have big tomatoes, like the beefsteak tomatoes, take a Ziploc bag, put it around the fruit, close up the edges as much as possible. It'll kind of keep the moisture in on hot days, and it'll keep the bugs out. It's this nice way of protecting your plants. A lot of folks will they'll cover it too much. They'll like tie the plastic around there, and it'll actually dry out and kill the plants. You still want to have some air flowing around the fruit, but there's a way to keep the fruit moisturized. God, it's not like it's got skin problem. There's a way to keep moisture on the actual fruit part of your plant, the bigger ones, and it'll help. It'll be awesome. So there you go. Some really easy ways to get starters. Like I said, like I mentioned, if you got pots outside, if you're transplanting stuff to your bigger pots, I mean, you might get to a point where you have like 25 of these guys, like I do, when we're all outside, which will be pretty soon here, we hope, right? Trade with friends. Find people who have little plants. They're easy. This is more fun. It's easier, more fun, and it's better than buying the starters. Like if you buy the starts of peppers and stuff. And don't worry about timing. Everyone says you got to plant stuff by this certain date to let it grow. Don't worry about that. You can plant today inside your house, and then Memorial Weekend, June, you can plant stuff in June. You can plant stuff at the end of June. You'll get stuff later on in the summer, but you'll still get your fruits and veggies. So yeah, plant it as soon as you can. Plant it when you want to, when you have free time. Have fun doing this. Trust me, creating this thing went outside, took me like 5 minutes to dig up some dirt, some clay, drank a coffee. I think making and drinking the coffee took the longest part. Put that together, and there we go. And so with that, I think that's the easiest way to kind of get these home gardens. And like I said, when you get the pot outside, put the coffee filter or paper towel or newspaper, or another easy one that I heard too is old sponges. If you got like old dish sponges, throw them in the bottom of a pot because it'll absorb the water. It's actually really good for for the seeds and stuff. We used to grow beans by putting the seeds, and other plants too, putting the seeds inside of a sponge, because you can soak a sponge with water, put seeds in there, and they'll become, they'll grow into plants very easily. So that's kind of how you do all that stuff. Remember, you can do it with celery, the extra parts of a celery, the stalk, throw that in some water, and when you're done with cutting it apart, and you'll get new celery. It's crazy. I want to mention one thing that I've just started using as well: seed tape. You guys, I don't know if you guys know what seed tape is. They actually sell these sort of strips of material that have the seeds already kind of on there. They're sort of like weirdly hermetically glued and biological, whatever. Very easy way to make seed tape. Take this, all right? So what the seed tape does is, well, let me explain what you do with it first. You line your seeds up like how you would normally line them up in your garden. So if you want a row of peppers, you take the seeds and you put enough seeds, enough space in between as if you were planting pepper plants, right? You may want to do more, a little bit more initially, just so you know you get a few pepper plants in there. But you'll line those seeds up on a strip of toilet paper. So you got the toilet paper, put the seeds down the middle, spray, fold 1/3 over, all right? So that 1/3 is over. Spray that with a little bit of water so it kind of covers up the seed, the row of seeds. Take the other third, fold it over, spray it with water so it covers up the seeds even more, makes it kind of a stronger substance, right? Let it dry out. That's called seed tape. You bury that sucker in that, and you can roll it up for the winter time, fall and winter, roll that stuff up in the springtime. You can bring it back out, unroll it, set it in your garden, throw some soil on top of it, and you've already got your seed. And because you're using toilet paper, it'll mulch up, it'll fade away. You've got your seeds already set up and lined up that way. It's so easy to do. It's the newest hack that I'm totally going to be using more of. If I could have a big garden, obviously I would use it. But very easy way to get your gardens lined up without having to dig holes and put the plant in there and dig a hole and put the plant in there. Seed tape, super easy. Well, that's it. Do you guys have any tips, any ideas before we get to Eliana's joke of the day? She's in the middle of playing video games right now. I might have to read her joke of the day. But these are very easy ways to start gardens. I've got my tomato plants. I'm excited because these are going to be very hardy, healthy tomatoes. And I've got a bunch. I'm sorry, they're all spoken for. At least this first set is. And I've got seeds here, which I'm going to save for the next couple of years. I overplanted. Didn't realize I was going to have that many seeds and plants pop up, but I had a lot. So anyways, seeds, they're awesome. Again, you could do something as simple as planting seeds in, these look like beans potentially or cucumbers, whatever. Planting seeds in eggshells, so easy. So easy. And eventually they'll turn into something like this, which is just awesome. There's tomatoes of all different kinds there. I love tomatoes, and I'm hoping these suckers will grow very easily. So if you guys have any tips, leave posts, leave comments on this video. A lot of people are coming in. You're gonna turn it off?
I'm just gonna turn it down.
She's gonna mute it all the way.
Basically, we're all done.
Okay, so there you go. There you go. Whole bunch of easy ways to have your home garden. Right now, nothing's stopping you. A lot of folks said I couldn't go to the store to buy seeds. What am I gonna do? No, you can just use the stuff you have around the house, and it's just as viable. Again, go get some tomatoes, get some strawberries, drop the whole strawberry in there. It's a lot of fun for the kids and for the family, and you'll get like a good variety of plants. Green onions, that's the hack right there. I love green onions. Okay, with that said, let's get to Eliana's joke. Let me do this. Let's get to Eliana's joke of the day.
My son just threw a milk carton at me. How dare he?
Love it. Love it. That one's good. High five on that one. That's good. That was really good. That was a great joke. This has been Eliana's joke of the day. And this has been That's Delicious.
Because you don't have another Macklish word.
Because I don't have another Macklish word. When I get a Macklish word again, I'll make sure to, slide it in. I'll make sure to put it on the next episode. Anyways, thank you, everybody. Oh, a couple more questions. Where did you plant them? When did you plant them? Where do you keep them at home? These, Vicky, grew so quickly. I planted my first set about 2.5 weeks ago, and they grew to this point, and I left them in here. And then I literally just transplanted a few of them into this, and they've already been growing in like 3 days. They've already got 2 or 3 sets of leaves in there. So they grow. These guys will grow even, like I said, within clay or whatever. It'll grow within like a few days. You'll have sprouts. I mean, I think those just in the clay from our backyard planting tomato seeds grew. They were probably growing within like 2 days. We already had some sprouts. It was amazing. So yeah. And we keep them near a window, but like I said, if you don't have any open windows in the area, You can just obviously just put a desk lamp, put them on a table, put a desk lamp nearby, and grow it that way. So yes, rotation. And I mentioned that before. I forgot to actually mention that. Thank you for reminding me. We will rotate see, Lena, you know this because you're going to be getting some of these. Mladen already asked me for some. Yes, I did. I mentioned save the coffee grounds. Like I said, save your coffee grounds, even from the Keurig cups if you want, but Keurig tends to lose the acidity. But if you have fresh coffee, mix some of those coffee grounds in there. But yes, rotate them, rotate your plants. Like I said, my mini greenhouse using just a plastic overturned bin on top of my plants. Rotate the plants every couple days. You don't need to do it every day, but every couple days, rotate them.
Can we get to our outro now?
Wow, you're ready to. You can. Why don't you just say bye then?
Bye.
Okay, she wants to go play video games. Go ahead, you can leave. Can we get to the outro? Look at her. Oh, you're not taking the iPad with you. Sorry.
I want to play some Roblox. Thank you. I love
There you go,
it.
Maxim's. See, melted my heart. Okay, you win. Good job.
Hey,
Yes.
I'm supposed to get out of here.
There, well, you're gonna have to fly. Anyways, yes, you guys are getting some of these, Lena. They're gonna be big in a little bit here, and I'll drop them off at I'll do a drive-by instead of a drive-by birthday. It'll be a drive-by plant arrival. Anyways, thank you. Anyways, yes. Any other tips? Feel free to leave them in the comments. I love planting. I have plants all over my house, and it's a lot of fun. We love you guys. Yeah. Hey, hun. John says iPad. You probably heard her. And there she goes, doing her crunches. See you guys. We love you. Take care. See you in the next episode of Can you hear? She's doing crunches. Bye, guys.